So, what's funny is, and the reason why Courtney and I are sitting here with you today, especially for this next guest, is because, and you actually owe this guy a lot. I'm not gonna lie. You know why you owe him a lot?
Tell me.
Because he got you a Chris Brown post.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
And more than that, he kind of opened up the doors to understanding the secret behind Chris's background vocals.
That's a fact.
So that was really, that was really dope.
You know what hurt me the most about that post?
What?
I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So when I showed my mom, she didn't believe me when Chris Brown posted it, but I was very happy for you.
You know who was happy about that?
Who?
Ableton.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, this next guest that we're gonna bring up today is actually someone I consider a really good friend, someone that has taught us so much.
So very much.
Given us a lot of game. He's actually up for Engineer of the Year this year at the Grammy Awards, which is a huge accolade. I mean, very.
What big record did he do this past year that you're a big fan of?
Oh, my mama. I feel good. To be honest, really just a mind-boggling guy, just somebody that's extremely busy. I'm so glad we are able to actually bring him to the stage. For Chris Brown, so many different artists that you guys have heard. Ladies and gentlemen, Teezio! Yep, I got a mic for my guy. Test.
Where should I sit, right here?
My guy. Yep, you can sit dead in the middle, my guy. Dead in the middle.
All right.
Yeah. Just
What's up, guys? How's everyone doing?
The GOAT.
Let's go, man. So we got Teezio here. So funny because, we've spoken to you 1,000 times at this point,
I know. It's just everything kind of went on top of each other.
Right?
I went to New York with y'all, which was like, okay, the initial.
Yeah.
And then we had to get back in again, and
Yes.
then now again. So
Yes.
we're talking a lot.
Yeah, so long story short, we do have a podcast episode with you and Baines.
Yes.
That we have on the way. That's coming. Maybe I'll probably get it out probably next week because I feel like I just want to get that out because it was really fun.
Should we tell them why me and Baines did it together?
Yeah, you do the honors. I'd love for you to tell them.
If y'all know the Offset album, me and Baines mixed that together. We co-mixed the album because we were on a short deadline with everything. So I brought him into the situation, and I feel like it was a great way of showing how two mixed engineers can actually collaborate on something without actually being in the same room together.
Right.
So
it was great because they kind of break down, him and Baines literally in the episode, pretty much break down exactly how they did that. Because for me, I was like, how the hell did you guys collab on mixes? That sounds confusing to me with using Zoom and audio movers and all this other stuff. But the way that these guys really figured it out was really mind-boggling to me. So we did get into that. Nonetheless, man, I feel like no one asks you how you doing. Like, how's Namm for you so far? Like, what's going on?
It's good.
With you?
It's always one of those things where I get in for like 2 days and then get out because it's a lot of moving around.
Right.
Yesterday I had 3 things I had to do, and then today's 3, and then tomorrow there's like a Grammy brunch, so I got to go do that.
Right.
But in the middle of it, I'm finishing Usher's album right now and like finishing Chris's deluxe album. So it's like a lot of stuff happening at the same time, and I feel like when I come here, like my mind just gets like starts spinning because I don't have like my Google Cal with all the shit that I need to do. Like it just starts spinning and stuff like that. So I need to get back to that this evening. Yeah.
And I know that the Usher album is a real serious thing because I know obviously he has a Super Bowl and stuff like that coming up and stuff like that too.
We've been working on it for a while actually, and I think when the Super Bowl thing came up, it was kind of like that became the goal. You know what I mean? Because Super Bowl is such a giant platform for artists. Any artist that goes up there, obviously, I mean, people that, which is strange to say, but the people that haven't heard of Usher yet in the United States, they will have their first Usher concert. So
my question to you is, I feel like because you are doing the Usher album, for instance, I feel like you are the hands of a legacy act, right? Like I'm not gonna lie, that would scare me. So like a lot in a 100%. Sense of like,
because I've known about obviously growing up Usher. I mean, like Usher's been doing music longer than Chris Brown. I mean, Chris Brown and I are pretty much, he's a year older than I am.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, we're like, and I knew about Chris when he came out in 2005, I was 15. But Usher's somebody that's like, when I was getting driven to school when I was 10, like Usher was a big artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely scary. But I feel like given the experience that I have with Chris and that sort of R&B sound, it wasn't as scary to do it. Also, I had L.A. Reid. I don't know if you guys who L.A. Reid is. He's a big music mogul. But I was in great hands because L.A. would essentially guide me on what exactly he wanted to get out of it, which is a great help because he is the one responsible for going to Usher and saying, like, this is the mix. What do you think of it? I kind of got in with Teezio and we did the notes that I felt, and L.A. is a legend even beyond Usher, the stuff he's done gotten even, you know, in his start in the 80s and 90s.
Right. What would you say, because obviously you were hired for the gig, right? So
Yeah.
obviously there's something about your sound that obviously out of the plethora of people that would have loved to take the job, that
Yeah.
you got it. What do you feel like in your sonics that they were actually attracted to and stuff like that?
I think it's, well, R&B to me is like this mix of like hip hop with pop. It's like this perfect blend where like the low end needs to sort of be there, but also the vocal needs to be clear and crispy. And that's something that I do a lot with CB, especially in this last album, 1111. I don't know how many of you've heard 1111, but that was really, to me, like so far to this date, like something that I'm the most proud of.
Right.
All the other Chris stuff that I've been doing, I felt was just leading up to this. And to be honest, the response on 1111 has been incredible in comparison to any other album that I've worked on with Chris.
Right.
And then also making it really easy for the client, like with LA, even last night, like after I left Namm, LA's like, yo, we need to do these notes and deliver this song.
Right.
And so immediately, Audio Movers, I sent him a link. He's in his house, in his speaker system, whatever, right. And he's literally dictating mixed notes over the phone through Audio Movers.
Right.
And he even told me, he's like, man, this technology is amazing. He's like, I can go to your studio and not understand your room and say, oh, this sounds great, but I still have to go home and listen to it, right. Versus him just being in the room that he knows how everything sounds. Right. Just like me, like I can go to Baines' studio or David Youngkim's studio and hear something and say, oh, this sounds good, but I'm not gonna know like the response because I get so much feedback from my space. You know, a lot of people think that the speakers are everything. And to be honest, the speakers are a big part of it, but what's even more important is that room response. So like, right. I can play a kick and yeah, I'm getting the punch from the speakers, but how the room is reacting to that will actually tell me whether I need to compress a little more or whether the kick's too loud in a mix. Right. Full room response is like a lot of the thing, and I'm sure you guys have noticed, like, even if your room doesn't sound that great, you're so used to it that you understand when a vocal might be too loud or when a kick might be too loud because you understand your room. Right. And so that's why for me, like Audio Movers and co-mixing with Baines and everything has been so simple because although a mix may be playing in another studio, I can actually hear it in my room, which right. is where I'm getting that full response.